so I realized that the last section might have been a little tricky, and by tricky, I guess I mean badly explained by me. There's a thing going around, an idea that programming is difficult, but my opinion is that it's just badly taught or badly explained, like I just did. So anyway, I'm going to take this a little slower. I'm going to give another composition example and recap what's going on here with these producers. And then I also realized that there's a possibility that you guys don't know or love hip-hop quite as much as I do. But these three guys are pretty important producers, I guess, in the story of hip-hop. That means that they make the beats for the songs and then that they put the songs together. And these are their nicknames. JD, he's dead. He was like pretty influential. He's worth checking out. And then there's Dr. Dre, who I'm sure you've heard of from, like, you know, he found Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar. That was after his whole previous career as a producer and DJ, and then he started rapping. And Kanye West, you probably know from the Kardashians, but anyway, his nickname's Ye. That was a little aside. We're here to complete the exercise, which was I asked you to add shoe designing ability to Dr. Dre and Kanye West. I don't know if Dr. Dre actually made shoes. I know he made headphones. But anyways, let's try this. So we have rap skills. Kanye West has rap skills, debatably. And I'm going to add some shoe designing ability. This is an object. So it's part of it's going to be contained by the Kanye West class and probably the Dr. Dre class, and that means that Kanye West is composed of the objects rapping ability and shoe designing ability. Okay, so I'm going to stick that in there, and then I have to create this shoe designing ability class. That'll do. And in here, I'm going to put the method that actually designs shoes. And how do we design shoes? Let's see. Design shoes. Have them stick. And then profit. Okay, so Kanye now has this shoe designing ability. I want to test that out. I always like to test things as soon as I make them, so I'm going to try and call this method. And I just saw a kind of a possibility to go into something else that I want to show you guys. So say we're in the get down, and we have here an instance of Kanye called Ye. And when I do a dot, I actually have the possibility to go into shoe designing ability directly like that and design shoes. So I'm avoiding the kind of delegation that I used when I was doing the spit rhymes method. So here I'm going into Kanye spit rhymes method and then delegating to the spit rhymes method in rapping ability. Okay, so this is kind of weird. Look, I'm able to do that. Actually, no pointer. All right, so one thing that I just forgot to do was I forgot to instantiate. Sorry, I'm going to slow down. All right, so I got a null pointer exception on line 12. So that's telling me that something in here is null. And I know that it's going to be either shoe designing ability or Ye. Ye is just instantiated here. And I know that I forgot to instantiate shoe designing ability in the Kanye West class. So I'm going to do that now. There we go. All right, now I'm going to run that and hopefully not get a null pointer. All right, yes, so what I've got here is I've got my CISO, I've got my printout saying design shoes, have them stitched by little children in China, and profit. But this was not quite what I asked you to do. I just wanted to show you that because my code is not bulletproof right now, I would have been able to do that. And the thing is that these member variables, they have the default protection on where I really should have said that they're private. I'll do both of them while I'm at it. And now you see that get down just went red as soon as I pressed save. That's because from out of here, I no longer have access to the shoe designing ability class. And that would be fairly normal because you generally want your member variables to be private. Okay, so now I should be able to design shoes, but I have to actually make the delegator method. I'm going to write that out just so I can say that again. Okay, this is a delegator method. Delegator, that means delegates. That means I give someone else the job you don't want to do. So here, it's going to be given to this shoe designing ability class, and then I'm going to call that design shoes there. Okay, I'm just going to run it just to make sure that it's still the same. Yes, design shoes have been stitched by little children. Okay, and that was just to test that, so it's not really part of my thing. The thing that I'm trying to do was have these say the right things. So now Kanye West knows how to design shoes. I also want Dr. Dre to be able to design shoes. So what I gotta do is go into Dr. Dre. I need to add also shoe designing ability to Dr. Dre. And I want to add the delegator method also. So this delegator method, it's pretty simple. Oops, I did something weird there. Put it in the wrong class, and then it's complaining because two methods have the same name. Okay, so this might look kind of like, why is she copying this one line of code when she could just copy this line of code? And the reason for that is, a delegator method is just pretty much one line. You're always going to do this, but I'm kind of imagining that the designing shoes process is a little more involved than doing a printout like that. And it's an example. Okay, so that's how you might have gone about, oh wait, let me just test it. Okay, so now Dr. Dre knows how to design shoes also. That is how you may have gone about it if you understood what the hell I was going on about in the last lecture. And if you weren't, yeah, that's pretty much on me. Although this stuff is kind of a bit weird to explain. I'm trying. Okay, so I'm going to go into another example. It's a pretty common thing because, I don't know if it really helps for me to be so weird all the time. But anyway, typical example of composition and delegation. A car. Yes, it's a car that has an engine. See, I just find this to be boring because they're in all the books and stuff. Engine, okay, this car got an engine, right? And also, we'll say it's got wheels. Actually, that doesn't, I don't have wheels. I'm going to say, don't want it to be plural. I'll say drivetrain. Okay, so here we have a car that is composed of an engine and a drivetrain. I'm going to create these classes, and this time I'm just going to put them here because this is a very trivial example, and you usually wouldn't do this, but you are allowed to put as many of these classes inside of a file, but you're only allowed to have one of them be public. Okay, engine, drivetrain. I guess I would do something like, I'm going to go method for my car. And then I'm going to get the engine to combust. And I'm going to get the drivetrain to engage. Alright, so here I have this car composed of engine and drivetrain, and when I operate the car, I'm delegating to the engine and to the drivetrain. Classic example, so maybe it makes sense to you guys. Put that in there, put that in there. Ooh, what happened? I'm supposed to be here. Just gonna test it. never write code you don't test. That's the most important thing I've told you in this whole 9 weeks. Okay, now is this gonna play? Probably not, because I don't have a main method in here. Main, I'm gonna make a car and make it go. Oh wow, did you know that would happen? Did I know that would happen? Maybe. Why? Oh, it's too late, I've already shown you why. Okay, but I'm gonna just say, I don't know what happened there. But in this exception down here, it's giving me some clues. First of all, it's a null pointer. Then it's telling me that the problem is at line 14 in the car class, and then the next place that it's got the error that the error has propagated to is this line. So it's telling me this is the root of the cause, and this is where the exception actually happened. Exceptions are a topic for Java 2, but it pretty much means that something went wrong, as you probably have seen a few times. Alright, so null pointer, this line, actually that line, I know that it's because engine is null. It's because I didn't instantiate it again. Just testing you guys, that's what was going on there. Okay, so that's burning fuel and spinning wheels. Okay, so that's the classic example for delegation. Now it's time to practice something that I might have tried already. Okay, so there's this movie and it's called Snakes on a Plane. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in it and it's got a bunch of snakes on a plane. And if you haven't seen it, you probably don't need to see it. You probably just need to know that there's snakes on a plane, and then the rest is pretty self-explanatory. I believe it's an action movie. Alright, so I'm going to have you guys create the classes, and there's going to be some composition involved. Namely, the composition that is going to happen is that this plane is going to have snakes in it. Alright, so the deal is snakes can be venomous or not. That's gonna be a random thing. We want to find out how many snakes does, let's call it Sam for short, have to kill. Yeah. Alright. Oh, and the other thing is, let's just start writing code and I'll come back to there. Okay, so I'm going to have some snakes. I'm going to have, what am I doing there? I'm going to have a list of snakes. Snakes. I'm doing this, typing all this out because I actually want you guys to write the code behind it. So I'm just going to write the main stuff. Main method and all that. No. Array list of snake. My list should have resolved. Okay, so because I wasn't control spacing there, it hasn't imported list. I would expect it to be read under snake. That's fine, but I don't like that it's read under list and array list. So I'm going to import those things, and I did Control-Shift-O to do, I did Command-Shift-O to do it automatically. For me, that's the Windows key. On a Mac, it's how would you describe that thing? It's kind of like a square with little curls in the corners. Apple key. Okay, so that Shift and O. And then I've got 3 options. So it's telling me it doesn't know what kind of list I'd like. This AWT is for user interfaces. This is, I don't really know what that is, but I do know that the Java util list is the one that I'm looking for. That's Java util has a lot of common stuff that you use. Okay, that's better. It's imported those 2 for me, and now I've just got this list. Now I gotta add that to a plane, so I'm gonna make a plane. And then, so on the plane, I'm going to add snakes. Just kidding. And then, I need to find out how many are venomous. Okay, and I'm going to ask the plane how many venomous snakes. There. All right. I'm not sure if you're getting delegation vibes in here. Hopefully you're getting delegation vibes. Nope. Sam has to kill the right, not all of them, just the ones that are venomous. Okay. So, something missing because I need to make the snakes. Actually, that's not going to work. So I'm going to have a snake factory. A factory is a thing that makes objects. That's a really common design pattern. And it's always like this. It's got a static method, and it's usually create list of snakes with random that are randomly venomous. Well, should I really talk about this? Yes, so I tend to have pretty long names of things, and not everybody has such long things, but I believe that I'm right. Okay, so this factory, you're going to have to create this too. Snake the snake factory, and then make the method that will return the list of snakes that are randomly venomous. See, it says it right there in the title. That's why we have nice descriptive things like that. Okay, so this is the kind of frame for you guys to make the coding there, and I'd like if you could make the UML also, because that's a really good thing to practice. And I think I give you enough information for that. Make your plane, make your snake, put the snakes on the plane. And then see if you can get the number of venomous snakes out of all of that. All right, good luck. Catch you later.